Alrighty. Welcome back to another Shinbec video. Same shirt, Shinbec, and webcam isn't focusing. Give me a high five. High five. Cool. No, too quick. I'll give you another one. There you go. Bam. All right. I actually don't think it's focused on me. Give me another high five, like a really big one. All right. How about that? How about that? I don't know, it looks kind of dodgy. Let me restart my webcam. Technical difficulties. I'm back. Oh, there we go. Hey, all right, we're back. So today we're gonna be taking a look at Dehya and what's going on with Dehya. Day one look. Let's see what some of the other content creators have to say about Dehya, why the community's kind of upset or happy with her. And then we'll figure out, let's try and cut through a lot of the very like opinionated, maybe biased pieces and kind of just see like what do both sides have to say, and maybe we can kind of meet in the middle and then figure out what is the general consensus. Do I plan on pulling her? And what do I see in Dehya further down the line? What is Genshin's outlook further down the line? So hopefully that makes sense for an intro. Now let's check out the collected Miss K. Lenny D here, Passion of the Burning Sands Genshin Impact video, because why not? React content is good, so let's start it. Go.
Anyone who wanders the world will tell you that there's nothing like a dependable travel companion to make the journey easier and safer.
Like Paimon. Don't
especially
include that
someone
in
like
the video.
Dehya, a mercenary from Sumeru.
Dehya.
She may see herself as just one among
I kept
many.
saying it
She is
Dehya.
no ordinary mercenary.
Dehya.
Her sharp mind, bravery, and honesty are rare
An
qualities that
absolute
truly
killer
make her a
bod.
rose among
Ayo, what?
thorns.
Got a job for me?
Pay me
Raised
rent.
among mercenaries, Dehya has a wealth of experience under her belt and outstanding combat capabilities.
You know what else she has under her?
Swordsmanship,
I'm not gonna finish that.
hand-to-hand combat, and the power of her pyrovision in battle, as she skillfully completes an
Every
eclectic range
Dehya
of jobs
video,
while
but
keeping her
more
clients
thirsty.
protected. By choosing the right moment to act, risks can be avoided and tasks completed more
Oh
efficiently.
my god. Wow. If you
Placing
pull
Dehya in your
Dehya, you
party
can
increases
dodge
the movement
those.
speed of your own party members between the daytime hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
That's when I
This
sleep.
talent does not take effect in domains, trounce domains, or the spiral
Trounce.
abyss. Dehya's normal attack uses
I don't
both
know why
her
it sounds like
claymore
a
and her
dance.
fists to
Oh,
combo
that
up
looks
to
so
4
good. Look
strikes
at it
that
go.
deal physical
God damn.
damage to enemies.
I've already reacted to the trailer and teaser, but man,
Using
oh.
her charged attack, Dehya drains
By
stamina
the time
over
this video
time
comes out,
to
I actually
perform
should be live,
continuous
or
rapid
I'll be live
slashes,
at midnight,
finishing
and
with
maybe
an
pulling her.
especially
I don't know.
powerful
Wink, wink.
slash. Dehya's elemental skill has different effects depending on the present.
I mean, this
combat
is just
situation.
this is Genshin's official, promo for
When there
her,
is no
and
fiery
obviously it's going to
sanctum
be
field created by
not really
Dehya
showing much
herself,
damage
currently
at all,
present in
because
combat.
that's the thing that a
Her
lot of people have been
elemental
saying
skill will
about
cast
her.
indomitable flame,
Questionable
dealing
damage.
AoE pyro damage,
And maybe
creating
other
a fiery
issues.
sanctum field. If a fiery sanctum field created by Dehya is currently present
Excuse me.
in combat, her elemental skill will unleash Ranging Flame, which performs a leaping attack that deals AoE pyro damage. Before
So this
recreating
thing
the
is
fiery
like
sanctum
Albedo's
field
E,
at her new position.
because it said coordinated attack. So Deluxe hitting, and then there's more pyro. Obviously, you'd probably want,
Ranging
a
Flame
strong
can be
Hydro
used
character.
only
Or
once.
the thing is, there's
Single
issues with
fiery sanctum
ICD,
field's duration.
or the how like it's very slow apparently.
Field
So,
takes
but
damage.
let's have a look.
The field will unleash a coordinated attack, dealing AoE pyro damage to them based on Dehya's attack and max HP.
I want to take a note that they don't show damage here, so this is just general gameplay. So this is like the very basic look at it.
This effect can be triggered once per set time period. Active characters within the Fiery Sanctum field gain increased resistance to interruption. When characters in the field take damage, a portion of that damage will be redirected
Candace
to
and Dehya
Redmane's blood.
meant to be together.
Dehya will then take this damage after a time. When the redirected damage stored by Redmane's blood reaches or exceeds a certain percentage of Dehya's max HP, no further damage will be redirected. Only one Fiery Sanctum, created by Dehya herself, can exist at a time. After unlocking the talent Stalwart and True, when her HP falls below a certain amount, Dehya recovers a percentage of her max HP.
This seems cool, but it's not like it's gonna be enough. It's nice in a bit of an emergency pickle, but it's not something that I believe is reliable.
Then
We'll find
continues
out
to
for sure,
recover
though.
a portion of max HP at regular intervals for a set duration. This effect can be triggered once per set time period.
once per set time
You're
period.
dead meat!
Yo, what are the sound effects? Huh. Falcon kick.
When Dehya casts her elemental burst,
Leon,
she unleashes her burning
help.
rage, casts her unwieldy blade aside, and enters the blazing lioness state, increasing
Lies
her
and
resistance
oh, did
to
she just
interruption.
snap her
In this
fingers?
state,
Oh
Dehya
damn.
automatically unleashes a series
Dude,
of
she looks
flame
so
mains
cool.
fists, dealing pyro damage. When the duration ends, she executes an incineration drive, dealing AoE pyro
Incineration
damage.
drive.
All damage dealt by Flame Main's fists and Incineration Drive is based on Dehya's attack and max HP.
One thing I learned is during the burst, if you spam your attack button, it comes out quicker and you can land more hits in.
Perform normal, charged, or plunging attacks. Her normal attack and elemental skill will be replaced by Roaring Barrage. Using Roaring Barrage shortly after each
Oda,
Flame
Oda,
Main's
Oda.
fist will increase
What's the
attack
JoJo
speed
meme?
of the next Flame Main's fist.
Dude, badass.
If a fiery sanctum field created by Dehya's own elemental skill exists when she unleashes her elemental burst, Dehya will retrieve it, then recreate the field once Blazing Lioness's duration.
So I'm going to stop right there. So what it just said is like, imagine you throw down your skill, your E ability, right? Once you burst, it picks it automatically back up and puts it down again. Now you'd think that'd be a good thing, but in fact it's not, because what I've heard is using the skill doesn't generate energy, and then it lasts 12 seconds, but the super armor only lasts 9 seconds. And so when she throws it down after, like, once she reapplies it down, once the burst is over, it's like not in effect and not generating energy or something. Now we're going to go into, we're going to cover more hyper specific videos that will cover that kind of stuff, but I think that's my interpretation of it right now.
Expires. The recreated field will inherit the remaining duration of the retrieved field. After unlocking the talent Unstinting Succor, for a short
Unstinting
period after
Succor.
Dehya retrieves a fiery sanctum field using Molten Inferno Ranging Flame or Leonine Bite, she will take decreased damage when absorbing damage from Redmane's
Cool.
blood. This effect can be
60, I believe that's 60%
triggered
decreased
once per
damage.
set time period. Additionally, for a short period after Dehya unleashes Molten Inferno Indomitable Flame, she will grant all party members the Gold Forged Form.
For 9 seconds.
This state will further increase characters' resistance to interruption when they are within a fiery sanctum field. This state can be triggered.
That's
once
actually
per
really
set
good for
time period.
Yoimiya and other characters that don't want to be
Although
interrupted.
Her reputation as the Flame Main has spread far and wide, Dehya has never aspired to fame. Rather, her focus is on consistently completing each job entrusted to her and on protecting those around
I like that little kick thing. I
Dehya's
like it. It's a
combat
nice little character
strategy is
touch.
centered around her
Little
elemental
flavor
skill.
text, but
She
animation.
starts by using it to create a fiery sanctum, which assists teammates in combat by redirecting damage away from them and providing coordinated attacks. At an opportune moment, she uses Ranging Flame to deal another bout of AoE pyro damage to enemies. When energy is full, Dehya unleashes her elemental burst and enters the Blazing Lioness state.
Blazing
In this
Lioness!
state, she uses Roaring Barrage to increase the attack speed
Oosh,
of
oosh,
Flame Main's
oosh,
fist,
oosh. Well, my
before
Bennett
finishing
Constellation
with an
6 might come in
incineration
handy
drive,
here.
overpowering her
Ho-ho.
foes with her flaming lioness claws. Collecting payments and completing commissions is a mercenary's bread
Bread and
and butter,
butter.
but the commissions undertaken by mercenaries differ from those handled by adventurers. Mercenary commissions are more commercial in nature, and the tasks involved are more varied. Many criminals, heroes, and other larger-than-life figures emerge from this trade as the euphoria of strength and success goes
Hit
to
that
their
drum.
heads. But not
Oh, it's
so
a
with
snake.
Dehya, who knows that delusions of grandeur only make surviving in the treacherous mercenary world all the more difficult. As someone who began life in the desert, Dehya has been confronted with issues of belief and forced to make difficult decisions on many occasions.
Candace.
She may wear a stern gaze, but she treats others with
She's a big
fairness and
softy on
generosity.
the inside. Who doesn't
I
love
would
that?
even say
Badass
that
on
she,
the
of
out,
all
but a big softy on the
mercenaries, is a
inside.
pioneer of living a genuine life, attuned to the realities of the
Of the
around
world
her.
around her. Thank you for watching today's ep of the National Geography channel by Dainsleaf. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, cool. So that was pretty basic. Pretty cool. A very basic look into her. Honestly, we probably could have watched something else, but it's always good to start off very low in terms of like I don't know, detail, you know. So if you don't understand what she does, skill, throw down this field thing like Albedo's E. Every time an enemy takes damage in that area, there's a coordinated strike, aka Dehya's pyro damage, which is apparently pretty low. When she does her burst, she goes into a state of like, I punch people. Now that doesn't trigger, that's not considered auto attack, so it doesn't trigger certain auto attack things like Xingqiu and Yellen. She has like super armor, she has the ability to take damage for teammates. That's pretty much it, I think. So let's actually read some of the comments here. I'm going to zoom in just to make it easier for you guys to read on stream. And I'm just going to have a look at, the first 10-ish and just see what people say. Come and claim your buff Dehya ticket here. So people obviously, suggesting that she isn't very strong and needs a buff. Now, the last time a character got buffed after they got released, in any significant way, in my opinion, was probably Zhongli, I would say. And actually, one of my very first couple of videos covered that topic, and it was an absolute beep show. So yeah. All right, Dainsley, welcome to the national. Wait, I just made that joke. This guy is copying me. That's literally me on my Smurf account. Okay, don't worry about it. We're not going to read it. So far, Dehya and Nahida are the only characters Dane hasn't bullied yet. Yeah, because they probably kick his ass. Haha. I don't know. Dehya desperately needs a buff. Skull emoji. Her skill field disappears when she bursts, so she can't even generate energy for herself. Simply genius design, Hoyoverse. That's the issue that I was talking about. Her combat capability is so outstanding that even jumping cancels her burst. Truly a character of all time. Hoyo, you need to start writing the "here's what we're gonna do to fix Dehya" letter. Not even a standard character deserves this. I'm happy to see more people unafraid in this comment section to voice the very many shortcomings of Dehya. She's a queen in our hearts, but made a peasant by Hoyo. Dehya does extremely low damage, especially on her burst. It is grossly out of line with other 5-star characters, judging from her constellations, which all increase her personal damage. It can be implied she is primarily a damage dealer. As it stands now, she's among the weakest characters in the game. This is an unacceptable state for a 5-star character, especially one as prominent in the story as she is. Fails to mention she's in the standard banner as well. But I mean, I'm not trying to combat anything right now. I'm just kind of like thinking, what everyone has to kind of say in this comment section so far. Okay, here's a spicy one. This character's kit was the most stupid decision ever made by Hoyo. I can't believe how dumb the devs can be. Dehya is one of the most beloved characters of Sumeru storyline. That is something I agree with. And her design is great too. Definitely agree with that. Her banner came right after one of the greatest character plus weapon banners, as well as which I'm sure most of the players used their primo gems on. They literally had an amazing opportunity to make a huge profit with this character, yet chose to make her a living joke. Not only this made the entire community disappointed at them, they harmed their reputation as well. Now this one, they harmed their reputation. It's interesting to see these type of comments, because I feel like these type of comments is kind of shoehorned in there without real, I don't know. Let's keep going. I don't want to. They are getting dunked about the situation on every post they tweet. I just cannot understand. You know what? That's a great segue. Let's go over to Twitter, and I'm going to open this up. And now let's have a look at the first couple of posts they have made with Dehya. Okay, there's a clip of something. This is actually so sad. A lot of people were actually so stoked for Dehya, including me. Not her dealing 7k damage on Sign, barely even applies pyro. Don't know. So it's safe to say a lot of the comments are just not happy. Not very happy, right? Something about Ukrainian language just seems to be a copy pasta. I think you'd have fewer angry players if you weren't adding Dehya into the standard banner. Now, let's address this, because why not? So, the fact that she is on the standard banner in general isn't, in my opinion, a bad thing. Because look at Tignari. Tignari is actually quite a powerful and honestly fun character to play. However, it seems like Dehya is not. So. That is unfortunate, but I don't think standard banner has anything to do with it. Sure, you might be a little upset that, okay, she's not getting that kind of limited time event character treatment, but besides the original cast of standard characters, I mean, Tignari has been, pretty good, so I think it's just unfortunate right now. We'll have to dig deeper to find out, you know, the overall statement that I feel I can express with Dehya, but let's keep reading. The decision to do so feels pointless considering she's the second Pyro Claymore. That is something that is a bit odd. For example, we don't have a Geo character on the standard banner, and now there's Diluc and Dehya, both Claymore Pyro characters. It also feels vindictive since she is without doubt the worst design 5-star in the game. Pretty sad and upset that a character I like a lot with an amazing design has a combat kit too lame and disappointing. I don't even understand. You could make a lot of money, blah 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 blah. Don't give up. You want to. So a lot of people are really upset that she's not, you know, up to expectations, and that you know, the buff isn't too great. So what I want to do now is I want to go over some content creators bits and pieces. I'm not going to react to the whole thing in this video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch some of them and I'm going to kind of cut, I think, the great parts or summarize some of the good parts of it. Based on what I Win to Lose Gaming is kind of saying, you know, I agree with everything here. Endearing character with stellar design. Yeah, I think a lot of people, in fact, that's probably the thing that hurts her. It's like everyone loves this character so much and she's not performing as OP as I like to be, or even just, you know, like on a base level. People are upset. Unique kit. I think the kit is pretty interesting. I think Albedo is actually one of the most unique characters in the game, and she is a little like Albedo in that sense. The burst isn't the same, but at least the skill-wise, there is some kind of similarities there. Still functional, has a good number of teams to be viable. That's what he says, so that's a pro. Dehya is much harder to interrupt. I think that's probably the biggest selling point. However, that interruption is not 100% uptime, or as I said, you know, it's like 9 seconds, but 9 seconds of being uninterruptible. But the skill, you can see it being down for 12 seconds, and I think the cooldown is longer than that. Not as much opportunity cost for not vaping her damage. Yeah, I get that. So basically, she's not applying enough pyro to really vape a ton, is what I'm understanding it as. I'll leave that as kind of like, I don't know, maybe that can be clarified in the comments or whatever. Easy to use, yep, especially in a burning PPT. Yep, provides some utility and some super armor. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Now the bad. So here is the bad. So it's no real niche at the moment. So basically, there doesn't seem to be a good area of Genshin Impact in terms of combat where she fits into a desired role right now. She doesn't seem like, you know, she fits in anywhere. Now, whether Genshin makes a future role for her to fit in, we don't know. But at least right now, it looks pretty bad. Doesn't look super armor power crept by shielders. Yes, this is a really good one. A lot of shields are just so much better, aka like a Zhongli shield, right? I mean, almost any other shield character literally prevents damage from being taken, period. Dehya essentially takes it. Now, there could be like mechanics in the future where it's like, oh, you know, if a character takes damage, they can trigger certain things, right? So that could be an interesting play in the future, but at least right now we don't see anything. It's just like, I'd rather have a Zhongli shield. I'd rather have just any other shields with some extra unique ability. Seems pretty dope. Zhangling, Hu Tao, Yoimiya do much more damage. Yes, those are hyper carries. They deal way more damage than Dehya. She is not a hyper carry. She has slow pyro application. Zhangling's better off-field pyro application. Yeah, I think that's what everyone's kind of agreed on. Tom is way better for Burgeon. That's another thing that I saw that people were saying, and multipliers are just too low. Her damage numbers are really bad. I think that sums it up pretty well from I Win to Lose, and it's what I've seen from everyone else. Now, he also has another part called The Uglies. Even more cons. Low impact and feels bad to use. Burst doesn't work with Xingqiu Yellen. Dehya doesn't have super armor while casting E and easily interrupted. That's another thing. When Zhongli first came out, initially when he tried to use his skill, when you held it down, he cast his shield, he got interrupted. Now they buffed him a few patches later so that the moment you cast that, you know, shield button, Wakanda forever, he can't be interrupted. Now Dehya is literally the first rendition of Zhongli, where the moment she casts interruption ability, she actually can get cancelled. So you just don't get it, period. Now here's the thing that I mentioned earlier. The super duper armor only lasts 9 seconds, but the actual visual ability lasts for 12 seconds, so you can see it on the ground, but it only lasts 9 seconds. So it's a weird thing to consider. And the burst puts away the skill, so she can't generate energy. That's another big weird kind of con to that. Burst auto target is a bit wonky and it's hard to hit multiple enemies. That I haven't tried the character out yet. This is kind of like me sussing out the information out there first. Can be frozen during burst, which is another kind of weird thing. So it looks like overall it's pretty iffy. If you want to watch this video, I mean, I Win to Lose Gaming. All right, here we go. Gacha Gaming. This is someone that I've been watching actually, I think since the game first came out. Every now and then I'll kind of go back to his views. So let's just see what Gacha Gamer has to say.
Thinking? Just
Oh.
off the top of my head when considering the negatives. Her damage is average at best, even with high investment. Her damage mitigation, while super interesting, isn't enough to keep the team alive, unlike using shield characters like Zhongli, since everyone still takes damage. And her self-healing is not enough. Also, her pyro application is pretty bad when it comes to speed, because it's super slow. But I personally think the worst offender has to be the resistance to interruption. I really dislike what Hoyoverse did here, and I cannot understand why they just couldn't
Oh, they have it here. 9 seconds.
give this
Yeah.
infinite resistance to interruption for the whole duration of her skill. And by the way, her field duration is saved up
It looks like everyone is saying kind of the same thing right now.
because she can reposition the skill once, and if she goes into her burst, the field also disappears and reappears after she ends the burst. So technically, if you start with a skill, everyone gains the infinite resistance to interruption for 9 seconds, but then 1 second is spent redeploying, 7 seconds for a full burst duration, and then when the skill comes back on the field, it will remain on the field for 10 or so seconds, but by then, the passive effect of Goldforge form will have worn off. And to add insult to injury, just like with Zhongli before he got buffed, Dehya can get interrupted when she's trying to deploy her skill, so it can be super annoying.
Yeah, this is actually really good just to see. I've actually kind of mentioned everything so far, so it looks like everyone's roughly saying the same thing. I didn't even talk about the banner, did I? You know, let's talk about the opportunity to talk about the banner right now. Barbara, I'm just gonna say in general, I am a huge Barbara appreciator. I've had Constellation 6, had it for a long time. I played as a main DPS, an auto attack, heavy attack, physical attack DPS, hydro DPS in general. I use it as my driver for certain Dendro team comps. I love Barbara. Does everyone else love Barbara? Probably not, but she is like a very useful unit. Okay, we can all agree with that. Like, she has a role and she does quite well. Collie versus main traveler. I think a lot of people would say just like, you know, say they just prefer main traveler, Dendro over Collie, but I've always quite liked Collie, so I'm glad to see her on this banner here. And Bennett is tried and true. There's not much to say about him. So overall, this banner here is kind of like overall, at least right now, if we have to always talk about Dehya in terms of overall banner value. I don't think this is a banner that a lot of players are going to go for, just because like besides Bennett there's really not much to go for. Collie, a lot of people would have got a free Collie, even with Abyss I think you can get one for free. Barbara is just like whatever, Bennett is like whatever. Bennett's great, but with the 5-star and all, I don't think this is going to be a very pulled on banner, and I think most people, unless they're really going for Dehya, it's not going to be a great banner. Did I wish for Dehya? Yes, I did. This was a character that I was waiting for a long time. Ever since I saw the 3.0 trailer, this was a character that I wanted no matter what. Now, the situation with her at the current time is not looking great. I think the general consensus of the community is that she is not performing as to, I guess, what you would expect from a typical 5-star character. When you compare her to some of the 5-star hyper carries, she is nowhere near close to doing any kinds of damage on that level. And even from a basic team synergy point of view, there doesn't seem to be a lot going. So where do I see this character in the future? Maybe a few updates down the line. Is Hoyoverse gonna buff this character? I don't think they're gonna buff her directly. What I can see is future characters maybe synergize with her better. I could see artifact sets and monsters designed to give Dehya that kind of niche environment to shine. Right now, based on what I've experienced with my Dehya, she's feeling like she could be a sort of bruiser but enabler for Burgeon potentially. But other than that, I really don't know exactly what we have in store for us with this character. I do think they are going to add some things in the future, whether it's artifact sets or new enemies, Abyss mechanics, something that's just gonna make Dehya shine a bit more in a certain kind of environment. I can 110% see that happening. So with Dehya, I think there's going to be potential for her further down the line, but it is definitely looking a bit rough right now. The good thing is she's on the standard banner. That should mean that people will eventually get her, and you know, they might not want to build her straight away, but they'll have access to her. Whether she's going to be a super popular character in team comps, you know, in a year, in a few months, I probably don't see that, but I do still see the community, at least a portion of the community, loving the character and just sticking with her as they continue to indirectly add things that may benefit her kit and her team synergies. So that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed this highly edited video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.